We are back for a Thursday edition of NBL Now, brought to you by Code Sports, your number one for NBL coverage. Today is a very special day. We welcome one of the best to do it in the NBL, one of the best CVs that we've seen, one of the best playmakers, 7-time All-NBL first-team selections. He's a 4-time NBL champion with the Wildcats. It is Ricky Grace. Thank you so much for joining us, Ricky.
Great to be here.
I'm excited to talk to you about all things. We've got a great round of hoops coming up. But last night we saw an Ignite Cup game that for some they would love to forget. For the New Zealand Breakers, it means that they are now second on the ladder. They're right up there with your team, the Perth Wildcats. It was a great game for them. But on the other side of things, the Brisbane Bullets. Thoughts and prayers go out to Casey Prather and Ariana Prather, part of our commentary team. Hopefully that is not too bad of a knee injury. It was a really horrific scene. I hated watching that. But the other news for the Brisbane Bullets is their point guard, their import. He's supposed to be the star. He's been an MVP caliber player for a little bit of time, and that is Jalen Adams. He had 16 minutes, 2 points, 2 assists. You are a premier guard in your time. I need to hear it from you. What more are they needing from Jalen Adams?
Well, it's tough because it's a team game. And, if you're not getting stops, that can really hurt you offensively. So, Jalen's doing his best to, I guess, be a team player in a team that's not really clicking, obviously, at the moment, or didn't click last night anyway. So, I'm not ready to hang the man yet because his body of work shows that he is a great player and can be a really good player when the situation is right. So Brisbane do have their work cut out for him at the moment. And, the coach is trying everything. You saw him take out, all 5 starters early in the game to try and shake him up a bit. That didn't work. And then, unfortunately, Casey going down probably, didn't help the mood of the team and the spirit of the team a bit. So, but, look, he's a great player, and let's hope that they can have a quick turnaround.
Well, it was an Ignite Cup game that I'm sure the Brisbane Bullets would like to forget. Let's move forward, though, because there is a great round of hoops to come, and none bigger than the game that we've got between the Kings and the Hawks. It's a series that I absolutely love whenever they play against each other. It's been Christmas Day classics, but we get an early look at it. The Hawks have turned their season around. If they win this one, they need to be taken seriously. Where do you have them at the moment?
I've always taken the Hawks seriously, especially knowing that Hickey was going to come back. Now that Hickey's back, he's obviously a big-time player. You've heard McGee talk about it feels different out there. The pace of the game is different. He's a great player, and the great thing about Hickey is you don't have to run any offense through him. He just does what it takes to win. He hits the big three. He slashes to the basket. He gets timely offensive rebounds. He makes great hustle plays, great team player. So that's really energized the Hawks being back. And I love rivalry games too. It's almost like a hockey game. You go to a hockey game hoping to see a fight. And I'm kind of hoping I see a little bit of Biffo in this one. I'm really looking forward to it.
Oh, I love the sound of that. Now, you were a premier point guard. I know I've said that. You're one of the best to come into this league and do it. You've got someone like McGee in the league now. Now, I need to ask you, if you were playing with McGee, how would you get it done? How do you maximize his output if you were running that team?
Wow, that would be a luxury. I guess the closest thing I had to JaVale McGee was Paul Rogers, and Paul Rogers did win the MVP. It's great having a big man that, defensively first, he just covers a lot of mistakes. So, it's like having an extra player out there on the court. And then offensively, you see a part of his game in the NBL that you didn't even see in the NBA. He can handle the ball. He can pass the ball. I've seen him make a few posters. He's caught a few bodies. So, no, it's just he would be a great player to play with. He seems like a great teammate as well, and he can score from the outside. He's obviously a great inside player, and who wouldn't want to play with JaVale McGee?
What about for Sydney Kings? How do they stop someone like McGee? Do you think they have the pieces to be able to do it?
Well, I believe the last game they played, Sydney won. and Sydney actually played a bit of zone. So that may be the best matchup. I mean, their big fella has played, Sydney's big fella has played international basketball. He's played against great players before. He won't be intimidated by Javale at all. They have a backup center. His name's Good Rick. So I would have to like that name, Good Rick. So, I'm backing him regardless. So I'm sure he'll battle against McGee as well. So, like I said, I think they're going to play a bit of zone because that seemed to be effective the last time they were able to play against Wollongong.
What about the backcourt battle? We've got Kendrick Davis, who's become a must-watch in the competition, and now Will Hickey as well. I love this matchup. I bet you, as I said, as a point guard, is licking your lips looking at that battle. Where do you see this going? Who do you see getting on top, and how do they counteract each other in this matchup?
Well, you saw the job Sydney did on Bryce when they played Adelaide. So when Sydney's locked in defensively, they are a really, really, really good team. But I'm not too sure how Wollongong is going to, be able to match up against Kendrick. Uh, Kendrick's a great player. Wollongong has great team defense as well. I know Hickey's going to be out there hustling, doing whatever he can to disrupt him. And Kendrick wears his heart on his sleeve. So again, I'm looking forward to a hockey match style game where there's a bit of biffo in it, and the team that executes the best under this high energy, high emotional game, keeps their head, able to execute, that'll be the team to come out on top.
There's been plenty of emotions in NBL 26, lots of biffo, as you've been calling it. I've absolutely loved some of these battles. We've got a battle tonight, though. It's Tassie up against Adelaide. Adelaide goes to the island where Damon Lowery came out and said it, and I don't think he could have said it any better. They just haven't been defending the island. It's been the catch cry of Scott Roth, but they are on the downward trajectory at the moment. Adelaide, they're coming off that loss to the Wildcats. How do you see this one shaping up?
Well, for Hobart, for Tasmania, they've always been a cerebral team. They've always played smart under Coach Roth. Sometimes you can get paralysis from over analysis, and I think they just got to let their ears back and play. Scott's game plan against Bryce has been fairly effective and made it tough on him in the past when I've seen him come here to Perth against Bryce. But beware of Bryce after a loss, and beware of Bryce after a game where he hasn't really scored up to where he's accustomed to scoring. So I'm a bit afraid for what's about to happen to the Tassie crew. But if anything, the Wildcats did have a great blueprint to defend against Bryce that made him, I guess, work for every single shot that he got. It's one thing to have the game plan and the blueprint, but you still got to have the players and the athleticism to be able to execute that game plan and that blueprint. So this is another game that I'm really excited to see because you're going to see an angry Bryce Cotton going against a very, very good Bryce that probably wants to show that he's just as good or better or the better Bryce on the day.
Yeah, I am very excited for the Bryce Squared matchup as well. How do you think Tassie manage Cotton? If he does get hot,
Yeah.
that's a problem. But if they do manage to keep him quiet because they're great and they've got a defensive minded coach, do you think they have enough scoring power to get it done on the other end? Because that seemed to be what happens to Perth Wildcats. They managed to be able to really put the pressure on in the other end. Did Tassie have that scoring power?
Well, it all stems from that defense. A lot of times your best defense kickstarts your offense. And if they're able to contain Bryce, but look, we're talking a lot about Bryce, but Adelaide has a lot of other good players too. So I think Chris Anstey compared Bryce a little bit to Steph Curry. And from an NBL point of view, I think that's a great comparison because you can over focus on Bryce, and then that just opens up things for so many other players on Adelaide's team who are also very, very good players. So this is a very intriguing matchup of great players, great coaches, and two desperate teams. So, but to answer your question, firepower, I think I think that stems from their defense. If their defense is able to hold Adelaide to say a 20 points a quarter, well then I think they'll be able to put up enough points to have a win.
Okay, let's move on to your Red Army. This is the one that I want to talk to you about. You've played in front of them, you've won chips for them, you've done everything that you possibly can for the Perth Wildcats. They're coming off an amazing win against Adelaide, but we've spoken so much about their inability to win at home this season. They are 1 win at home, 3 losses. They've really struggled to go to RAC. And it seems like, and I heard this from Chris Anstey, it seems like the pressure is now on them when they get to that home court. How are you seeing that for the Perth Wildcats at the moment?
There's always pressure in Perth. This season's no different. The sample size is still a bit small. I mean, it's only 4 games. It could have something to do with the draw. It could have something to do with the Wildcats still figuring themselves out. They had a change of import. But so I'm not really too concerned. The Red Army is always an advantage for the Perth Wildcats. So I think once the Wildcats settle into this now roster that seems like they'll have for the rest of the season, I think you'll see that home court advantage come back into effect.
Let's go back to your day, the Red Army. It was on another level when you played. Do you have a fond memory? Do you have a standout moment in front of them that you often go back to and think about?
Man, it's so many, great memories. But I think just our first championship when we came back to the airport and there were over 10,000 people at the airport on a school night, just there to celebrate with us, just shows how proud West Australians are of the Perth Wildcats Club. But there's so many great memories. All of our parades going down the main city of Perth, getting keys to the city. It's really a great, city to play for, and they definitely do. And I think it's great for the away team as well. Like they really enjoy coming to Perth to play because it's going to be a great atmosphere. The fans are hard but fair, and yeah, that Red Army. There are definitely a lot of great memories that were created there in the old entertainment center.
Yes, no, absolutely. I feel like the Red Army is one of the most special in Australian sport. Lastly, on Perth, David Duke Jr., he comes into the lineup. He's had a few excellent games. He had a great matchup against Bryce Cotton on Sunday. Have you liked what they've done with they got rid of an import early in the season? They've bought in a new one. There's been a lot of that happening throughout the league. Are you liking what you're seeing from David Duke Jr. at the moment?
I am. I am. I'm loving his defense. Loving his athleticism. I'm on the outside looking in, just like the rest of you guys. But I haven't been in any training sessions yet this season. But just looking at him, he just looks like a really good fit, and I think he'll only get better offensively once he figures out the system. Right now, it looks like he's really trying to get all the other players involved, but I'm sure once he gets more acclimated, he had to do a heck of a lot of traveling the first 2 or 3 weeks that he was in Australia. So once he gets his legs underneath him, I think he's going to get even better offensively, and he just seems to, I guess, fit in with the guys, which is something that's important here in Perth. So I'm really looking forward to his continual improvement offensively, as well as him continue to be a really good fit with the cohesiveness that they seem to be able to have. And I'm sure that'll only get better.
Spoke about heading into trainings. Just lastly, do you go into the Wildcats a little bit? Do they invite you in? I'm sure they could use your expertise.
Yeah, well, yeah, they don't need my expertise. They got enough brain trust around there. But I am definitely still a big fan. Yeah, no, the Wildcats look after their past players very well. We're always around the club. We go to their training sessions. We're at the games. So No, it's a really good feel. We're all, as past players, excited about the season ahead. It's some really great basketball being played here in the NBL, one of the best leagues in the world, and just it's a privilege to go to the games and watch them every week here in Perth.
Well, Ricky, it's been an absolute privilege to talk to you. When I heard that I was doing this NBL Now with Ricky Grace, I got very excited. So thank you so much for joining us today. This one has been brought to you by Code Sports. You can jump online at codesports.com.au and check out all of the insights and exclusive access to NBL across the season. Ricky, thank you so much for your time, and all the best to everyone for the rest of this round of hoops.
Thank you. Go Wildcats.